Up the pipe!
G'day guys, Nate here. Last week I made a video talking about our 10 Collingwood players who haven't made the AFL debuts so far in their careers, and also discussing Jack Buller, who hasn't made his club debut just yet. So 10 plus 1 players discussed. And I thought it'd be best to mention 10 other Collingwood players, Collingwood's depth uprising for 2026, my expectations for each player, not predictions to be exact, just some hopeful expectations for each player. 97 games combined for these 10 players mentioned in this video. Some of these players possibly playing opening rounds, hopefully playing both preseason games as well. Others will have to bide their time in the VFL, others in their contract year as well. So to watch this space for them as I sneak that in. It's one thing to mention our best 23, our backline midfielders, forwards, and whatnot. I guess for these player previews for 2026, it might be better to discuss the depth players, the youngsters. I know it's a bit of a running theme in the media and also non-Collingwood supporters about who are the youngsters besides Nick Dacos that's going to be Collingwood's future. 3 to 5 years to be exact. It is a bit of a worry. It is a bit of concern. It does mean we need to improve our developments. We do have a new development coach this year at Collingwood, but it does require Craig McRae to hopefully look at the kids if it gets to that point. Do you play it safe or do you take a risk with some of these players, the depth players, players who have played AFL level, just not at a consistent basis or level as well? Players dropped for random reasons and can't get back to AFL level, as demonstrated in previous years for these players. Again, going to mention 10 players real briefly, what I expect from them in 2026, their previous, I guess, contributions or their history at Collingwood so far, and hopefully have a better outlook for these players heading into 2026. I'll just get straight into this video. We'll start off with the one player who didn't play any footy in 2025, and that's Harvey Harrison. ACL injury in the VFL late 2024 against Sydney, missed all of 2025, was ruled out and placed on the long-term injury list, meaning someone like Rowan Steele was picked up alongside Noah Howes. And Harvey Harrison, I've got him just outside the best 23, but he's a player of interest. He was drafted in the same year as Nick Dacos, pick 52. He has tremendous footy smarts. It's very underrated at AFL level. He's quick as well, good ball user, can find the goals as well. Doesn't have a position locked down at AFL level. He's going to have to prove himself in the preseason games to get back into the AFL side. My expectations for Harvey Harrison is he'll definitely return at AFL level at some point, barring, and again, worst case scenario would be a long-term injury again. Hopefully it's not the case. Just want to see Harvey Harrison fit and firing. Another player with an ACL injury, this happened last year, is Reef McInnes. I am seeing praise for him in regards to his roll down back, but for me, it's still a work in progress. He's played 23 games heading into his sixth season at AFL level. Didn't play a game in 2021. 6 games in 2022 with a shoulder injury against Hawthorn. 5 games in 2023 dropped after King's birthday against Melbourne. 9 games in 2024 was dropped after our 11-goal loss to Hawthorn, and then 3 games in 2025 ACL in the first 5 minutes against the Bulldogs. When I say it's a work in progress, what I mean by that down back, uh, we didn't see much of him. GWS, bit of a mulligan there for everyone involved. Round one, 91-point win over Port Adelaide, barely tested down back. He looked okay against Port Adelaide, but the real test would have been against the Bulldogs with Sam Darcy and Aaron Norton, who was out of form at the time, but then he does his ACL in the first 5 minutes. So a game like Adelaide in round one, if he's named for that game, that's probably his biggest challenge down back. Against St Kilda, should hold his own. That's pretty much what he was doing so far before he had his ACL injury. But for Reef McInnes, he'd like to be playing AFL level in August, heading into September, and also just get through the season unscathed with injuries. He may be in and out the side depending on our setup and whatnot, but for Reef, 6 seasons at AFL level. He was involved in the fire sale, or the draftees the kids brought in after the fire sale. Last resort, he may go down forward, sneak a goal or two. He can find the goals. 19 goals from 23 games. Typically would have like 5 or 6 disposals and 2 or maybe even 3 goals in a game. But Reef can provide something. Hopefully has a full season ahead of him at AFL level. Another player ruled out of 2025 with a knee injury, PCL to be exact, was Lockie Sullivan. He's not the coach's pet, I don't think, but 24 games at AFL level, 14 games last year. He was in our bottom six players at AFL level, but he was never really threatened for his position due to injuries at VFL level. And then the injuries mounted, or they all came in a bunch late last year for Collingwood. But for Lockie Sullivan, I've got him out of the best 23 so far, but as depth. But Fly loves him. So what I have him as unlikely for AFL opening round, his chances will increase under Fly, but I'm not saying that in a disparaging or negative way. Lockie Sullivan, he's a handy player. Every club would need a player like Lockie Sullivan at AFL level, but he's out of contract end of this year. Another player who was ruled out of 2026 with injury, Charlie West. He only played one AFL game last year against the Eagles, kicked a goal. But if you remember as well, we also played Myercheck, McStay, Membry, and Jamie Elliott alongside Charlie West. Just a forward line structure that didn't work against the worst team in the AFL. Charlie West kicking a goal on debut, 24 goals in 10 VFL games as well before the foot injury. Uh, he's a player to watch for the future. I've got him ahead of Dan McStay in the best 23 for now. Doesn't guarantee anything just yet, but Charlie West is a player of the future. Expectations, get through another season, kick more goals at AFL level, maybe even double digits or average a goal a game at AFL level, depending on how many games he plays. But Charlie West and Jack Buller, I'm on board for these two key forwards for the next 3 to 5 years at least. Obviously, we'll need to see some performances as well, and we've got Ben King possibly through free agency end of the year, but again, it's all a watch this space. But I'll get into some of the players who weren't injured, but were just in and out of the side in Collingwood's AFL squad in 2025. And we'll go with Ed Allan. He's probably the biggest name or the most talked about name of the 10 that I'll mention here because he's out of contract, in and out of the squad last year, 13 games last year, 15 AFL games so far. I prefer him in the middle, but he's been trialled across half back and as an outside midfielder. He is handy by foot, but it's just a matter of fighting that spot at AFL level. He's got the Finn McRae role now, where I think he's too good for VFL, but not good enough for the AFL. The expectation for Ed Allan would be to finally cement himself in the best 23, and hopefully for every Collingwood supporter, he signs on and remains at Collingwood beyond 2026. Rowan Steele, mid-season pickup last year, 5 games, 3 of those games as the starting sub. Technically has finals experience now, but big pre-season for Rowan Steele. The goal for him would be to obviously cement himself at AFL level. I've got him out of the best 23 as depth alongside Ed Allan and everyone else for that matter. But for Rowan Steele, almost a Patrick Lipinski type player for his entries inside 50. He's probably better in terms of finding the goals as well compared to Lipinski, but he'll probably impress at VFL level first before making a claim for AFL selection again. That's once Harry got into the AFL squad last year, and he'll have to do that again with a full pre-season. He's extended at Collingwood as well, alongside Charlie West and Will Hayes. But good on them. So they're future players for us. Expectations for him, more AFL games, and obviously cement himself at AFL level alongside Will Parker. 9 AFL games for Will Parker, 5 in 2024, 4 in 2025. Typically plays in the back line, but at VFL level, he was playing more up the ground. He would get the footy out of defensive 50, scan up the ground as well and find a target. Occasionally in the guts as well, inside mid, but for Will Parker, like everyone else, try and cement himself at AFL level. I don't think he's in the Finn McRae role as well of being too good for VFL but not good enough for AFL. He's out of contract as well this year. Hopefully he extends at Collingwood beyond this year. To watch this space for Will Parker. I've got him in the best 23 for opening round. That's because of Jeremy Howe and Darcy Moore out due to injuries and just for some structure as well for Collingwood defensively against St Kilda. But Will Parker still is an acquired player for depth. And for him, I'm looking forward to seeing him play another full season at VFL and also getting into the AFL squad as well. Hopefully he doubles his AFL tally count of 9 games, get to close to 20 games and beyond. I say that for everyone that's out of contract, but you never know. Will Hayes, 2 AFL games so far, kicked a goal on King's birthday against Melbourne, debuted against North Melbourne at Marvel. 15 games at VFL, 13 goals and 26 tackles. So nearly 2 tackles a game and a goal a game as well. I don't have a lot of expectations for Will Hayes, who has extended at Collingwood beyond 2026. maybe get a few AFL games, but I don't expect him to cement himself in the best 23. Hopefully, he improves on his VFL form last year to at least make a claim for AFL selection. Who we, I guess, competing with Saxena for that pace at AFL level in terms of selection. But both Will Hayes and Saxena will need to bide their time at VFL level. Hopefully, kick a few goals, apply pressure up forward, provide that pace. But for me, not a lot of expectations for Will Hayes. Just continue on at VFL level. The last two players I'll mention combined at half back, Jacob Bryan and Tao Jath. Jacob Bryan, the fascinating one for me, out of contract. Only one game, and it was in 2023, knocked out or concussed against Brisbane in the first quarter. So hasn't even played a full AFL game yet. So one quarter and hasn't even sniffed AFL level just yet. He injured his foot against Southport in the VFL last year, ruled him out. Chow Jath injured his quad or hip, ruled him out. So both halfback flankers, both have played AFL level, one game at Marvel, both being injured. Jacob Ryan with concussion, Chow Jath with the cramps. That was hilarious at the time. Not so hilarious the game against North Melbourne, but you get the picture. Tao Jath has extended to 2027 or end of 2027, and Jacob Ryan is out of contract this year. I don't expect Jacob Ryan to stay on, unfortunately. All these hypotheticals, the 10 players mentioned, hoping for improvements from our depth players in 2026. We need it. There'll be injuries at AFL level, experienced heads, decisions to be made for these players. Do we continue on with them in 2027? But we need these depth players to perform in 2026 at AFL level at the very least. I'm more fascinated by these players heading into 2026 compared to our senior heads. So this will probably be the last of the previews of these, or player previews to be exact. This is technically, it's not a preview of our preseason game against GWS, but it's as close of a preview as you'll get because I'm not too sure if it's going to be a full squad against GWS. Typically for these unsanctioned games, 4 quarters, half, well, 22 players for one half, 22 players for the other half. It's all to watch this space against the Giants. They are battered and bruised already with their injuries heading into 2026. So win, lose, or draw, the result doesn't matter for the Giants. They just want a proper hit out with no injuries. If they win, an added bonus for them, but the result is, it doesn't matter, the result. It's a vibe check. It's to see certain players hopefully kick the door down for selection or show the world that they're in for a massive 2026. So it's all to watch this space. This will be my last upload for the week before the weekend, to be exact. I'll have the review technically of the preseason game against GWS uploaded Saturday morning. Hopefully, I won't be able to watch the game live. I won't be able to get home until Friday night to watch the game. So to watch this space, and I'll be tied down as well for the remainder of the week. So my last upload, sneaking this in before a busy few days for me. Hope you guys have had a good week, and hope you guys have a good week. Please be well, please be safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Up the pies. Up the pies!